Good evening, everyone. My name is Ed Bolian, and I'm a world record holder. But I'm here tonight as the founder and CEO of VINwiki. 10 years ago, I started a career in the car business as a student entrepreneur at Georgia Tech. I started an exotic car rental company. But for the last 6 years, I've been the director of sales for Lamborghini, Aston Martin, and McLaren Atlanta. And over that time, I owned about 23 interesting cars. And we're going to make this work again. There we go. Excellent. One of those cars was a 2004 Mercedes CL55 AMG that we used in 2013 to set the New York to LA Cannonball Run record. But one thing that I learned in 10 years in the car business is that we are terrible at maintaining the history of our vehicles. And the companies that we think are doing a good job of it are failing miserably. Carfax is currently under a 700 plaintiff, $350 million class action lawsuit alleging, among other things, that their data is inaccurate and poorly maintained. So there's a massive quantity of social data that we can be using to add value to cars, but we're just failing at it. I was a victim of this when a Ferrari that I had for the rental fleet was in an accident. We fixed it, and when I sold the car, the new guy's fine, he drives down the road, but a few months later, Carfax decides that my car is totaled. And there's no way for me as a user or the new owner to fix that. So this is the team that I assembled to solve this problem. Dave and Dan were with me on the New York to LA run. Kevin's our web developer, and this is Peter, our CTO, doing the heavy lifting tonight. VINwiki is a social vehicle history reporting platform. We invite our users to tell the story of their car and the cars around them by creating, contributing to, and curating vehicle history reports. And so you make posts to any VIN, which is the vehicle identification number at the base of your windshield or on the barcode in your door jamb, and those can include photos, dates, mileage, and location. So our product is a mobile and web-based application that allows you to do a variety of things that we're going to demonstrate now. Thank you. So as we launch the app, we're going to land on a social feed. And that's going to show you posts like, I just bought this car, I serviced my car, I washed my car, this is a cool car I saw, this car's parked like a jerk, I'm at Atlanta Tech Village, and there's just different things like that that you can post. You can search by year, make, model, but we're going to make a post right now to a car most of us are familiar with, and its license plate is PNU 7929. And that is the silver McLaren that tends to be parked outside. And it's going to ask me, is it a 2012 McLaren? And in fact, it is. And so I'm going to contribute a post. I can add a photo that I took, which is right there. And I can use Foursquare to say we're at Atlanta Tech Village. I can add some text. And in fact, I took that picture about an hour ago. And now I can contribute. And it's going to thank me. And now I can scroll through and see all the posts of anyone that's ever seen this car. Now I can also add this car to a list. Now that means that I can tie multiple cars together. Now that's something that no one else is doing, and what it does is it empowers the user experience to let people see how cars are connected and what else is going on with them. So with VINwiki, you're building out the profile of your own car interactions, but also the profiles of all the cars that are around you. There's about 38 million used vehicle transactions per year in the US, and about 23 million of those are private party transactions. At any moment, there's about 3 million cars listed for sale online. The market needs VINwiki. We're disenfranchising the car buyers, sellers, dealers, service providers, manufacturers, and journalists from the equation of adding value to cars. And so while there's some revenue options that we can explore, our plan is to deliver this to the users and the stakeholders that it will benefit, and then let them figure out how much it's worth. The Carfax and AutoCheck offer no ability for a user to contribute to the story of the car. VINwiki lets you take control of that story and add value. So our app is live in the App Store now, and these are our social media presences. If you're not an Apple user, we're launching a web-based beta today, and we'll be in the Google Play Store soon. But we're here to change automotive history, and we hope you'll come along for the ride.
Questions? Eric?
Yes. Sure. Question is, how do we moderate the content? And it's like any wiki site. It's very easy to report something as being incorrect, inappropriate, damaging. And so we're going to let the community at large police that, but we monitor it quite closely as well. Yeah.
How do you prove the ownership, being yours versus maybe your neighbor down the street?
So we don't make claims for ownership. Anyone can post anything, but if you are the owner and you go in and say it's incorrect, then obviously we have the ability to monitor that. In the back?
I can totally see my car has husband loving this game.
Yes.
Yes.
So I would use it. And that's kind of the whole point, is you're pulling in people to kind of collect all of this information, aggregate this information that you don't have right now.
Right.
How do you pull in people who are not car people?
So the question is, how do we pull in people who are not car guys or girls? And the reality is that we all can understand that the more information that you have about your car when you sell it, the more value you're going to have. So it's a proposition of saying that if you don't want to stuff all your receipts in your glove box, or you don't want to take the time when you're about to sell your car to try to figure out all the stuff that you've done, this lets you do it over time. I understand the social aspect of following your friends and following the cars that you like in our social feed might not be as compelling, but I can assure you that for a car guy like me, it is. How about you?
You talk about the safety issues. I'm thinking if, for example, someone has a stalker, and the stalker can type in their license plate and see everywhere they've been.
So you can post by license plate, but you can't search by license plate, and we're not pulling any personally identifying information in that. And so it's not going to be displayed anywhere on the profile. It's just a really easy way to load in a car without having to type 17 digits.
If you're a car owner and you intend on installing your car, and you can post corrections rather than anonymously, why would you let your car that you might one day want to resell without having any type of correction?
Right, so the question is fundamentally, why would you post anything bad? And there's two reasons. If you're in an accident and there's any police involvement or insurance involvement or a body shop involved, Carfax and AutoCheck are going to register it as an accident. But they won't say much more. They might quantify it as being moderate or a major, but this gives you the opportunity to post a picture, say it really wasn't that bad. You know, my wife just backed into the trash can, but we felt like filing it, or whatever the case may be. The other thing is, as important as it is to tell how good your car is, it's also extremely important to tell how bad your car is. A few years ago, I bought a Lamborghini from a local prostitute. And while she was in jail, her boy that is a friend was out driving it and destroyed the thing. So it gets towed into the dealership where I'm working, and it's leaking oil and needs a clutch and brakes and tires, and I know it needs those things, but I don't know what else it needs. Now, if I had had a comprehensive history to say, well, it shifted properly before and the differentials were working, I could have paid her more. She, in fact, wasn't a good negotiator, so I didn't have to anyway, but that if she had done this, then it would have helped.
Do you merge like Data One and Edmunds APIs together to source this information? Is that how you do that?
So we do crawl for certain information, but fundamentally we're empowering the users, and we want most of our content to be curated by our users. So we'll augment that over time, but we're not necessarily looking to be another Carfax. We're looking to be a better resource.
So how do you justify the car is yours when you're trying to show it off or trying to sell it?
Oh, so essentially you can just post to it, and you can say that it's yours, and that's what our users are doing. Eventually we'll prompt surveys. So if you've posted 10 or 20 times to a car, we'll ask you, when did you buy it? Where did you buy it? Did you trade a car in? And things like that that'll help us to construct more of its history.
How do you make money?
So we can make money by having extremely targeted ads, by offering subscriptions to high-volume users, and all the normal ways that you might make money off of a social site. But this adds so much value to so many businesses that seem to need it, that our plans are really to let those businesses understand and start using, and then we'll do something there. Yep.
So I have a nice 1972 convertible sticker.
Right.
Canary yellow. And if someone comes up and asks me, can I take a picture? I'm like, no problem. But if they walk around the back and start taking a picture of the license plate, I think it's going to stop. So is there a way to block someone from putting something up? Can you call in or email in, hey, my car was up there, I want to block?
The only way that you'd be able to do that, the question is, can you block your car from being on VINwiki? And the only way that you do that is if someone was posting something that is inaccurate. The same way that if they're putting it on Instagram or putting it on Facebook, you don't really have the ability to police that based on anything other than accuracy. And so I talked to a guy with a $2 million P1 the other day, and he was like, I don't know if I want my car on VINwiki. And I said, well, there's 50 other ones, and it's all about establishing the provenance of your car. Now, your car does not have a Carfax or an auto check, but it can have a VINwiki page because we can accept soon non-17-digit VINs. Right now, we validate them based on the checksum, but you'll be able to do that, and nowhere else will be able to keep your history. But thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much. Wonderful, wonderful.